is what each receiver did in the last 4 seasons. Meyers in 60 games had 235 catches for over 2,500 yards and 8 touchdowns. In 49 games, JuJu had 232 catches for over 2,400 yards and 15 TDs. All right, well, if the Patriots offseason had a panic meter, I'd probably put myself at like a 7.5, maybe an 8, because let's be honest, things aren't great. Hello and welcome to Arbella Early Edition. I am Trenni Casey. There is time. Trades can be made, but as the minutes of free agency tick by, it is seeming less and less likely that the Patriots are going to make an impact move. JuJu Smith-Schuster is fine, but he's basically a more physical but less durable version of Jakobi Meyers. And at last check, Albert Breer is hearing that the Patriots are not in on DeAndre Hopkins anymore. And according to Jeff Howe, price is a big concern for the Pats in free agency and with trade acquisitions. Bill Belichick knows this isn't 2004, right? Tom Brady not walking through that door, carry the entire team on his shoulders. Contracts have changed. Guys want to get paid or have a legit chance at winning a Super Bowl. And right now, neither of those seem to be viable options in New England. Not great. Not great. All right, let's welcome in Tom E. Curran and Phil Perry about the Jakobi Meyers going to the Raiders, JuJu Smith-Schuster. I have to laugh a little bit. We have a show call every day. And Phil says on the show call today, I swear to God, if they sign JuJu Smith-Schuster for like the same price as Jakobi Meyers, I'm going to lose my mind. Lose your mind, Phil.
No, I'm not going to do that, but I am going to say this doesn't make him better. It's essentially the same guy. Since Jakobi Meyers got into the league in 2019, they are the same player. Mm-hmm. They are 5 catches, 50 yards per game, about the same guy. And even if you break it down even more finely and you look at last season and you look at these guys and their performances on 3rd and 4th down, those critical situations where Jakobi Meyers was so critical to this offense. Again, essentially the same guy, 83% first down conversion percentage for Jakobi Meyers, 85% for JuJu Smith-Schuster, Tom. JuJu Smith-Schuster in an excellent offense last year with the best quarterback on the planet. All kinds of great scheme going on there last year for the Patriots. Not so much. You're the same guy, I think only less reliable because you have no idea how JuJu Smith-Schuster is going to fit into not only the offense, but the program. And we've seen guys, he's a big personality, Tom. We've seen big personalities come here before, and they have to kind of feel their way around. And how do I fit in? And how do I let myself be myself here in New England? Can I do that? Those are all questions for me with JuJu Smith-Schuster.
You really have to get to the fine print to find where the players are different. You can see it right there in the highlights. He's a bigger player than Jakobi Meyers, so he blocks like Jakobi Meyers. He is a guy who catches the ball in shorter range by a yard or two, but he'll also gain for you after the catch a significant amount more yards.
Better yak guy.
Better yak guy.
Yes.
And Jakobi is not that because he runs about a 4.6. He's never going to be a great yak guy. But I think when it comes to understanding nuances, having been a former quarterback, which is something that Bill Belichick has stressed, Jakobi Meyers was excellent at that. We'll find out how good JuJu Smith-Schuster is here. I spoke at length to Devin McCourty today about all of this and a number of other things, and he said, you know, I wonder how good JuJu was playing opposite Antonio Brown. By the same token, when you look at his good season last year with Kansas City, how good was he with Kelsey on the field? How good was he with Patrick Mahomes and the number of weapons they have in Andy Reid's offense? So it's one guy in for another guy out, a big personality coming in for a guy who was everything that you wanted in a player in terms of dependability and leadership.
But it also sounds like you're saying this is a guy who has not had to star in an offense, and he may have to star in the Patriots offense.
Yeah, on some days he should be the star of the offense, the same way Jakobi Meyers was on some days. Devontae Parker has to be the star some days. Hunter Henry, they don't have a guy who takes over a game. Edelman could, Gronkowski could, James White could. Ramondre Stevenson is the only guy who you could say, wow, he just took over.
Yeah, you never would say that about Jakobi Meyers. I don't think we're ever going to say that about
But he can have an
8-130
game for you.
Sure, but is he going to take over 8-130? Boy, I don't think so. I don't think Jakobi Meyers did that. I don't think JuJu Smith-Schuster is going to do that. He's not going to make a defense worry about their game plan the night before.
At this point, moon. I'm not saying.
Did Jakobi Meyers ever have 130 yards receiving?
Let me Google that.
No, I mean that's a lot. That's a monster game. JuJu Smith-Schuster. Bottom line, Tom, he's not the explosive threat that I think you need in today's game to be a very good offense.
I agree.
He can be the best receiver in Patrick Mahomes' offense, Trenni. This isn't Patrick Mahomes'
So all
offense.
the rock kicking we did about Jakobi Meyers yesterday is allayed somewhat by this move today, but the remnants of it that still remain are, why do you say goodbye to a guy who is loyal, honest, brave, helps old ladies across the street, and does all the things that you want in your program to get a guy who can be a real pain in the ass, at least on social media.
And that's what I think everyone is wondering, that if on paper they're essentially, with slight differences, but each has maybe a strength that balances out the other's weakness, so we'll call them even. Why not stick with the guy that you know, the guy that Mac Jones knows, the guy that was becoming, as Phil said yesterday on the show, a leader in the locker room? And I just found this tweet interesting. I'm sure you guys saw it. Shortly after the news broke, Jakobi Meyers, and I don't, I want to try to read his mind, but he just tweeted "cold world," LOL, and like a quote tweet of what the deal was, because the deal was so similar to what he did. So when everything comes together and it's about the same money, Phil, why not just stick with the guy you already had?
Great question, Trenni.
I think he wants that answer, too.
I think the tweet is indicative of the fact that the Patriots weren't real competitive. As Tom mentioned yesterday, and I've heard this now, too, in the last 24 hours, you're not that competitive for the devil you know, the guy you know who can be really good in your offense that you know your quarterback likes, and then you go and you roll the dice on somebody on a very similar contract, very similar type of player that you don't know. You have no idea for sure if he's going to fit into your offense.
It was the Raiders and the Ravens, and the Raiders only got involved on Jakobi Meyers when they realized that's what they're going to get him for? Well, we got to get into this thing. The Patriots were not involved, and we've heard it repeatedly now. Jakobi Meyers has expressed to people close to him, I wanted to go back there. They did not want me back. Now, Michael Felger from 2 to 6, towards the end of the show, he was kind of broaching the idea that, well, maybe Jakobi Meyers was a little too lippy in the locker room and defending Mac Jones, and Kendrick Bourne was like that, and Bill wanted to fumigate the locker room.
But does this do that?
But, well, even to address that, I just don't think that Jakobi Meyers would say poop if he had a mouthful. He didn't do anything to me that was really rebellious.
He had one comment at one point during the year that said something along the lines of, we're not always sure why certain plays are in the game plan. I do remember that from during the season, early in the season. I think it was before the Pittsburgh Steelers game. But that was really it. And you're right. I mean, in terms of character and what you're looking for in the locker room, Jakobi Meyers is the guy you would want. I'm not saying JuJu Smith-Schuster isn't. I'm just saying you don't know him.